Readers like you. IJReview.com, your number one source for news and entertainment.
A progressive woman once told me that if she was my wife, she'd poison my coffee. I told her if I was her husband, I'd drink it. This is Alan Bordius, host of Their Finest Hour, Monday nights here on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
Hi, I'm Dustin Hoyt with America Our Way, and you can hear me right here on Vigilant Liberty Radio at 10/9 Central on Thursday nights. We bring you the best in political commentary from the right-wing, conservative, libertarian perspectives coming together and bringing the best content on the internet. Be sure to tune in every week for your favorite shows. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hi, this is Missy Bordius. Join me as I share my womanly bits on the Conservative Feminist Show, 11 p.m. on Fridays, here on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
At Independent Journal Review, we publish news that is objective, fair, and entertaining. As one of the top websites in the United States, it's our duty to bring the absolute best to our readers. Readers like you. IJReview.com, your number one source for news and entertainment.
Okay, so I did have one New Year's resolution that I want us to keep. We got to get rid of that song.
Oh my gosh. There are three things that I have for New Year's resolutions for this year, and that was number 2.
See, so I think, we're copacetic on that. Hey, listen, before we leave hypocritical presidents, presidential politics, and the like, and this is from CNN, of all people. You would think this would be from Washington Free Beacon or what have you. But CNN did a mashup on Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to tell the folks what it is. We'll just play the clip. But obviously Hillary, all but certain, right, going to run. So, even more so than normally is the case, everything she says and does is under scrutiny. And it's not just because she's Hillary. I mean, that's the case with all presidential candidates. So one of the things that I ran across over the weekend, being scrutinized as we speak, about Hillary is the way she is wording some phrases, speeches, political commentary. And to some, she sounds eerily similar to a former president, including to CNN. So let's listen to a short clip, Michael, and see what we think about that.
Okay, perfect.
People have played by the rules, as my husband famously used to say. No matter who you are or where you come from.
The idea that if you work hard
and
played by the rules,
and you play by the rules.
If you're working hard and playing by the rules,
If you work hard and play by the rules.
We're going to lift you up and out of poverty in this country today.
American families are working harder than ever.
People are working harder than ever.
Maintaining a middle-class life.
Spending less time with their children, working nights and weekends at their jobs.
Feels like pushing a boulder uphill every single day.
I'm
a product of the American middle class. I am grateful for everything that I was given.
And when I am president, you will be forgotten no more.
There is nothing but dignity in hard work.
I'm tired of the dignity being stripped from blue-collar work in America.
We are a nation of immigrants.
We are still a nation of immigrants.
If we don't begin to talk across all the lines that divide us, we will get further and further separate.
What do you think, guys?
That was priceless.
You know, she is a groundbreaking, new, beautiful, cutting-edge idea person, isn't she?
She's a hollow pantsuit, dude.
We're talking, I mean, this is a retread of retreads, is what it is, Mike.
There's no question. And, you know, listen, I mean, give Bill Clinton credit. A, he was a great orator. And B, he said it first, even if someone else wrote it. I mean, that's politics. I get that, to be fair. But the operative word you just used is retread. You know, she's just parroting. You know that they go through the computer or archives or whatever. No, this one's good. You got to use this one. And they just figure out, they being Team Billary, they just figure out what worked for him and what they think will work for her. Because let's be honest, she has to run as far away from Barack Obama as she can and try to remind folks, Democrats still revere Bubba, that she's a hell of a lot more like him than like Obama. But this is just, I thought it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, the thing obviously that's the most surprising about it, because the fact that she would retread meaningless, trite, liberal, feel-good comments, that's not surprising at all, obviously, right?
Not at all.
In fact, if you had to place a bet, would Hillary Clinton be more or less likely to say the same type of things that her husband said? Obviously, you'd lay down everything. You'd shove your entire stack forward on that she would. That it was CNN that did it. That it's not a Andrew Klavan or Free Beacon or Red Eye, something like that. That it's CNN that did it. That's the surprising part.
See, and this kind of somewhat plays into my belief that, as I've said on the show multiple times, that this dissatisfaction with Hillary, the way she's been the way she was treated on her book tour, the way she was treated, and all proper, by the way, the treatment, when she, her ridiculous comments about, Bill and I were dead broke when we left the White House and all of that crap, I still believe behind that, whether it's going to be Lizzie Warren or whether it's going to be anyone, that there is this thing on the left that they wish the Clintons would just get the hell out of town, right off into the sunset, never to be seen again, and let someone, as they perceive it, more liberal than Hillary, rise to the top. I believe that that's part of what's going on here.
Are they the Democratic Party's Jeb Bush? Or is she, rather?
Well, I think it's, I think as it relates to the Republicans, you've heard me say this before, the Republicans tend to play whose turn is it
right,
as often as they can when presidential elections roll around. And I think, now this is going to contradict what I just said, but that's why this show is great, because we don't know what the hell we're talking about. But no.
Speak for yourself.
But no, seriously. There is also this, I don't know if it's guilt that they threw Hillary under the bus in 2008 when the Chicago Jesus arrived on the scene and they all, went gaga-eyes over him. I don't know if it's, I think there's a bit of that, but I also think that there's a bit of fear of the Clintons. Bill Clinton does not, does not suffer, I was going to say suffer fools easily, but Bill Clinton is a vindictive dude, and Hillary is as well. So I think maybe this time they're maybe trying to play both sides against the middle, to the extent that, dude, if she does win and we do what we did in 2008, then there's going to be complete hell to pay for us. So I think it's multifaceted, and I think it's fairly fascinating because, listen, the Clintons are. The Clintons are still the mainstay of the Democrat Party. There's no question about that.
Right. Well, again, referring back to my lefty friend who I fight with constantly on my Facebook wall and on Twitter a little bit, the references to how good things were under Bill Clinton for this country is one of the quickest responses when you point out how dismal things have been under Obama. It's a quick two-step. It's things are better than they were. Things were horrible under George Bush, but things were so great under Bill Clinton. I mean, that's just a quick 1, 2, 3. The ease with which that party could say, happy days are almost once here again, will be a chorus that will be very easy to sell, Mike.
And you know what? I mean, yes, things were relatively good under Clinton. Now, setting aside the fact that, A, when the economy is bad, presidents get too much crap for it, and B, when it's good, they get too much credit. That's the stock market, interest rates, the job market, the economy.
All of it.
Let's set that aside. What they don't tell you is the rest of the story. 2 years into Clinton's first term, the Republican Revolution, it swept 56 Republicans in the House or whatever. Gingrich became Speaker. Clinton had his ass handed to him. Unlike Obama, he was shrewd enough. He thought probably about his legacy and everything else, or maybe he just realized, I have to compromise with these people. What the Democrats don't, they either ignore or don't know, is that Clinton moved more to the center. In other words, Clinton moved closer to Gingrich than Gingrich moved to Clinton. So together, they did balance a budget. They did welfare reform. Bill Clinton gets all the credit for welfare reform, and he was attached to it. But Clinton was smart enough to move towards Gingrich and say, I'm not going to be able to get anything done unless I work with this guy. And he did.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, that's always what I say to the guy. He does that 1, 2, 3 step. Obama better than Bush. Clinton was awesome. And I say, fantastic. I'll give you Hillary Clinton if you give me Newt Gingrich in a Republican contract with the America House. And then he always, moves on to something else. Immediately.
Yeah. Is that dude that's on Amato with you?
That's the dude that's on Amato with me.
I've told you before, man, if I was on that show with him, there's always somebody sitting in between you guys.
Yeah.
It'd be all I could do to keep from launching across that middle person and just grabbing him by the, whatever. And but it's that narrative, But I do have a bit of. It's not even begrudging. I mean, some respect, quite a bit of respect for Clinton politically, because he was astute enough to realize what had to happen, and which again, just points out, amplifies how tone deaf. We were talking about the Obamas being tone deaf, relative to going to restaurants with a $500,000 membership fee, but he's tone deaf to everything else. He does not know how to govern. He's a campaigner, and that's all he is. That's all he does.
That's right. Speaking of campaigner, Mike, you sent me that story. You sent me that story about the tax surprise that's looming. Let's talk about that, because this is something, one of the things that everybody thinks about at the new year. I've got an article that's pending right now in IJ Review. 2 that are open that I'm writing on are all about stuff that is or could be or should be or might be happening this year. Because that's it's a time of year that people reflect upon what happened last year and what they want to be doing differently this year, etc. Like we talked about, changing out that awful bumper song that we enter the show with. The tax surprise for Obamacare. Obamacare is still a thing, Mike.
You and I have both. We've known each other for a while. We have both written a fair amount about Obamacare. I think, reasonably speaking, we know a fair amount about it. And we have both said that, this goes back to, even when, the initial complete screw up with the rollout of the federal Obamacare site, healthcare.gov. It extended through. Remember when I said if you like your policy, your healthcare policy, you could keep it? I was just kidding. But we both have written in the past about what other shoes that would come to drop. And it was policies that would end up being canceled. That happened. And on and on and on. So what Michael's talking about is Obamacare enrollees